Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Sister Wives, Season 20, Episode 4, You Need to Shut Up.
I wasn't sure who this was directed at.
Not
initially.
the person we were all wishing.
Not the person.
Or expecting, I should say.
Yeah, that deserves it the most. That's not really who ended up with this.
Although I do think that Kody got told that on Special Forces this week, didn't he?
Yes, multiple times.
To shut up and stop smiling.
Yes, repeatedly. Yeah, that seems to be the trend. Yeah, if you didn't know, we've been recapping Kody's adventures in Special Forces, where he is putting the special in Special Forces this season, as Brianna Chicken Fry would attest to.
I'm actually having a lot of fun talking about it.
It's been good. So yeah, if you're missing those, it's just jump back an episode. You can catch those right here in the Surviving Sister Wives feed. So stay subscribed and don't miss a thing.
In this episode, Meri clears out the App Store. Taeda Farms gains another resident. Kody leaves his stink on the She-Rah Chateau. And Joe Darger catches strays. Joe Darger, man. I don't think that he wants to be associated with these people anymore.
Okay, so here's the problem. Yeah, Joe Darger didn't they write a book first? And then Kody was like, well, I have to get a show now. So then the show came after the Dargers wrote their book.
And then the Browns destroyed all the laws in Utah against polygamy.
Yes.
And then Joe Darger had to fix them all.
That they had been fighting for so long. And then Kody was like, oh, we'll write a book too. And that was becoming Sister Wives, the #1 New York Times bestseller by Robin Brown and others.
And others.
And the rest.
They've been moved to a lower line.
Right. Yeah, of course.
What did you think about this episode? Because I know there's been a lot of conversation about the first few episodes of the season. People feel like it's boring. They're losing interest. It's waning.
We went back and we looked at a meme that we posted on Reddit March 30th, 2020, where we had made a joke about season 14 being the season of moves. And we listed all the different moves. Sister Wives has everything. And then we went through all the different moves that happened just in season 14. This is kind of doing that same thing, where this season it's just every single episode is somebody moving. So we hit those stretches in Sister Wives where that's it. That's the whole
all
story.
That's going on.
That's everybody's story everywhere because everybody's in a different place. Everybody's moving to a different place.
But that's how you know that it's not really a great season. If we're competing with season 14.
Season 14 was bottom of the barrel, guys. We came in at a low point. That was where we started with the podcast, but yeah.
I'm going to need them to speed things up to the point where we get to see Kody and David go racing together.
Yeah, that's the stuff that we need to get to.
You're holding out on us. We know that you've got the good stuff.
They're kind of paving the way for it, though, because it was basically Kody introducing the concept of he wants to be able to be in the same room as Christine and interact with her in kind of a friendlier, neutral sort of way. Because right now it's just he despises her.
He's got a long way to go, I think.
He's trying to scrub her from his existence here of just...
But what does that mean? So he needs David, he needs a man to intervene. He needs a middleman, literally.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that David's going to fix this for Kody? That's his plan here? That's the
This is
scheme?
teen mom parenting, where you need to have the co-parent from the other side who becomes your friend. Otherwise, there's just no way you could function together.
Yeah, but it sounds like Kody wants to talk to Christine directly too, though, is the other part of it.
I don't believe that. I don't believe him. Doesn't matter, because we're starting this episode out at Jen's bike shop. Do you remember
Riveting.
When Meri posted the TikTok about this? When they announced that this bike shop was open?
Yeah, I think did they use Riding Dirty? Was that the song for it on the TikTok?
I'm pretty sure it was. In Parowan, Utah, the destination to get your bikes from.
Maybe not. specifically, but like, yeah, I don't know how this is doing as a business. We were trying to look it up to see, is it still kicking? It's just they're closed on Sundays and Mondays. Those
Isn't that
reserved.
prime biking time, like over the weekend?
Is it?
When people have time to go to a bike shop and look around and consider buying something?
I'd say maybe like Monday, Tuesday, you could probably go. Like those would be slow days, probably.
But
right?
during the weekend,
like you want to make sure that you got your rentals out there and available here.
Is this what Jen's getting out of being friends with Meri at this point? She's filming every scene with her for this season, and in return, she's getting promotion for her new bike shop.
I think that's the deal. That's the trade-off. That's like the existing agreement that they kind of have.
Because at this point, it's starting to feel like there's no one else for Meri to film with. She has some ancillary friends who show up every once in a while, but...
The wine and painting crowd.
Yeah, but I don't think that they're people who know her well enough or are willing to be available enough to film frequently. Does anyone care about the speed dating update?
Speed dating, it still seems fake. Like, because the way that Meri's talking about it too, where she was like, yeah, we've had some good conversations. I did
eventually talk to Ron.
Pair with him, or, you know, like we matched as part of the speed dating event, and then we've subsequently spoken to each other afterwards.
And then she doesn't want to say anything more than that.
That's all you get.
But it's kind of weird because we watched you guys meet each other on camera, and now you're going to freeze up and not tell us anything else that's going on. Did they hook up?
What's wrong with him? What did you find out, Meri? That it's not going to work out.
What did Ron find out about her?
Not compatible. Physically compatible? Maybe not.
So she's on the apps now.
He's got a banana, not an eggplant.
She's okay with those two, let's be real.
Oh, okay, yeah. Either or. Is this a step down? Is this a downgrade to the apps then? Is this Meri just settling for?
They're all very judgmental about using dating apps.
Well, Robin can't even wrap her mind around it. What's scary is that Robin's approach to dating apps is very similar to mine. Like, I could never fathom doing that personally. I would never be able to navigate it.
Well, that's what she's literally going to have an issue with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, she'd probably be swiping the wrong direction. It would be very confusing.
I would love to see her profile, though. How many pics would be of her and Dolly's?
Oh, she's got to hide the Dolly stuff. She doesn't want anybody to know about that. That's a big secret. You don't find out about that. Yes, I don't think she wants anyone to know.
She doesn't want a partner who's also into the Dolly lifestyle?
No. That's her thing. See, if the partner's into it too, yeah, she's not going to be able to, she can't play dollies with these are collectible pieces of art, basically.
We don't enjoy them in that way. They're just for looking at.
Just for looking at, and that's it. You just change their outfits every once in a while, maybe adjust a pose here or there, and then that's about it. That's all of the interaction that you get.
I'm kind of feeling like Meri's just at a point where she's desperate. She had to drive 2 hours to go to a speed dating event that resulted in absolutely nothing.
Big bust at this point.
Now she's on the Garrick Merrifield apps, which must be the ones that Christine was on, because she's talking about how when she met David, some of the other messages she got from people, little different.
She was getting recognized where people were like, oh, look, that polygamist woman from television. So she
Maybe
must be...
she'll swing with us.
Yeah, she must be looking for plural relationship. So let's get her in here, you know? Open relationship.
No, they knew she was a freaky bitch. That's the problem.
That's the trick.
She didn't know.
That's
You have an aura about you, Christine. You're sending a vibe out there.
Message received, Christine. Yes, I think that's what we're getting at here.
The thing I don't understand is in their culture, they all dated each other for about a day and a half before they got married, and yet they want to judge people who meet other people on apps and don't interact with them until they have a first date. That's weird.
Well, yeah, and Meri's still battling with this conservative upbringing, this very religious structured approach to dating where you don't just casually date people to get to know people or learn more about them. No, you have to date with the intent to marry, and that's it.
Well, and that kind of impedes your goal, too. The more you get to know someone, it deters you from the original goal of marrying them.
Yes.
So the less you get to know them, the better.
Right. Like, that's Meri's experience in relationships so far.
Which worked well for her.
At that time, well, it worked in her favor.
Correct.
Let's, say that way. Because, like, and I would say probably for Robin, too, a little bit. it worked in Kody's favor with Janelle, because Janelle had basically said, yeah, if we had courted a little bit longer, probably wouldn't have married this guy.
A lot of regrets now in hindsight.
You know, looking back on it, had I known then what I know now, I'd probably pass.
Then they come across a man with a very interesting profile. They have to blur. Well, they blurred all of the photos.
They blurred the faces. Some of the names they missed. So, but it's just first names. So it's kind of whatever, I guess.
Or, I'm not sure if I can say this.
A for effort. Oh, okay.
His apron does not say kiss the cook.
No. There are letters. They had to blur out the last 2 letters of that word because they have been altered on the apron.
Is this kind of like a Janelle, I kiss better than I cook?
I kiss better than
I cook.
Then statements.
So just a grammatical error at the printer. Not intentional.
No, this felt more intentional. But to include that in your dating profile is like, whew, that seems bold.
Jen's into it.
Jen was like way into it. And I think this should be like, if that's what they're putting on one of the however many photos that they include on this handful of photos in a dating profile as your first interaction with this person, first experience.
Are you getting the vibe that they're not really sussing out the people who may be just looking to hook up?
I don't think that would be like, if that's your first impression that you're willing to give, like
concerns about who you may really be.
I would have concerns.
Yeah.
And as a friend, I would have concerns about Meri, who's been catfished before and like not really great at navigating the dating waters here as it is.
Yeah, maybe skip all the profiles that just have one photo.
Yeah, my camera's broken, so.
Were you shocked that Robin knew the term hooking up? Because
She's
she mentioned
to Aurora about it. You know, she had to read about it, read up on it, as we're going to find out in the coming episodes too.
Learning all the slang
Robin's
from the kids.
Learning about a lot of dating culture.
I'm waiting for Meri to loosen up what she's looking for because she keeps talking about she wants a guy of a certain height. There's a lot of requirements.
6'2", so it's gone up too since we last talked. It was
we're
just
raising the standard.
We're going even higher now because it was 6 foot minimum, and now she's like 6'2" would be ideal, but she's willing to settle on as long as taller than her. That's it.
If he has good hair.
Well, hair's becoming a bigger focus here. Yeah, he has to be.
Especially if he has curly hair, like he's going to have a routine. He's going to be able to keep that in line. She doesn't want a man with crazy hair.
Not crazy, untamed,
spaghetti-like,
wild, out there sort of hair. No, this needs to be well-maintained, groomed, taken care of.
And then she starts to giggle because she realizes that she's basically describing she wants the opposite of what Kody's got going on the top of his head.
Well, you've described your ex-husband very specifically, like by example here.
That's why Christine just cut to the chase and said bald. Yeah. I don't even want to deal with hair anymore.
Nope. Done. Over. I'm not interested in trying to figure that out for them at this point. We're just going to skip over that entirely.
I didn't organize my notes, so do you just want to ping pong back and forth the way they did in the episode?
I didn't take any notes, so yeah,
All right,
I'll just go off of my memory.
We're just rolling with it, and that's how we'll go.
Okay.
I need a break anyway, because I don't enjoy the scenes of Meri and Jen just giggling the whole time.
It's a lot of that.
I'm over it. I really liked Jen when we first met her, but they're not using her to her full capacity for what she can bring to this show.
They're kind of setting that up for in the next episode where then it's like Jen coaching Meri. I don't like the whole thing of like, it's basically like brainwashing sessions with Jen, but it's like she's using that power for good, where she's like, don't let other people control you.
I think she still knows there's a chance that Meri will get back with Kody.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big red flag.
She's really worried about any interactions that they're going to have.
Yes. And then like the repeating phrases back to her and stuff. So it's just Meri has found a new cult leader. It's Jen. And Jen isn't totally exploiting that. She's trying to empower Meri to gain some independence here.
Hashtag worthy up.
It's about time.
Now we're going to the She-Rah Chateau, and Kody's brother Michael is here, I would say visiting, but they're putting him to work because where were the movers? Remember how the realtor Justin mentioned they got to call the movers back?
I guess they never got around to that. They've been meaning
They
to.
can't dip into the dolly money to hire movers.
No, a dolly will not move this.
Now, are they trolling us because they open with a shot of a prairie dog?
They know. They know what they're doing. We know that they know. We see it.
Well, they're escaping. Maybe this is symbolic. They're escaping the land of prairie dog plague, which was the first thing that we were originally worried about with them moving to Flagstaff. And they're moving to a new location where now we have to worry about them getting black lung.
Not so much black lung. It's mostly the heavy metal poisonings that will take place now.
The cinder mine.
Or continue to take place because, yeah, we know how many supplements Kody's on. So the amount of lead that's probably rolling around in there at this point.
He's just been slowly poisoning himself anyway.
Slowly but surely, yeah. Steady decline.
Between that and the mold.
Oh, yeah.
That was a scene that they cut out from the episode last week, which they were talking about all of the repairs that they had to make to this house, that they just didn't know there was anything wrong with it until they listed it.
That's usually what happens when you completely ignore every single step of maintenance for your home.
Like, they ripped the entire bathroom. It looked like down to the studs.
Oh, my God.
There was new drywall, new tile, everything.
How bad was the leak where it just kept going and they were just like, oh, well.
It must have been bad. Did you see, too, in this episode when they leave the house, the entire bottom half of the wall that's by the front door is just covered in something. What's the stuff that you covered all the walls with? How do you plug a drywall hole? I need David Woolley.
Well, I've been doing drywall since 1980, so I usually just take a little bit of joint compound.
And
then I just spackle it on there.
The whole bottom of the wall.
There you go.
That's
so
why we need a pillow
new.
Talk of this show.
They might have had new drywall placed in. I want to know what David
thinks.
If it was just...
It didn't look like new drywall.
No. David wasn't giving them a discount rate. The friends and family amount.
See, that's why you should be nicer to people.
You
could have had the hookup.
He could have helped you out, but no.
They're still trying to remind us that nobody in the family knew that they were moving. TLC really wants us to know that the wives all found out on social media, just like the rest of us did.
Janelle must have saw our TikTok probably when it happened. The rumors are true.
Well, that's okay. She's relieved. She's like, thank God. That means that they're going to need money, and that increases the odds that we're going to sell Coyote Pass. So, good move in my book.
The bigger, the better.
I approve.
Yeah. Let's get this going.
Did they already shut the air off? Is there no electricity in this place anymore?
There's no circulation. Yeah, there's no air ventilation in there. Well, that's where you end up with a mold problem, too. Yeah, if there's not proper ventilation there, then that's going to be a big issue.
This place must smell like mildew and Kody's pheromones.
That's what the dollies are going to reek of now, too. It's just seeping into their gowns and their wardrobe.
I need to stop seeing Kody and Robin talk about how sexually attracted they are to each other, because this was pushing that narrative once again.
Here's the thing to note. It's mostly Kody talking about that.
Okay.
It's not Robin.
Trying to remind Robin of the time when she was attracted to him.
It's not Robin who's talking about that. In fact, Robin talks about how uncomfortable she is that Kody keeps bringing stuff up like this. It's weird.
Because they're not used to it.
Well, she's not used to it. She doesn't like it either, if we're being totally honest.
Okay, I think it's more of that.
Probably a
Not
lot of
that they couldn't talk about this stuff when they had the other wives around still. Because you spent most of your time at your own house anyway.
That's what I was going to say. How much time were you spending where there was this overlap, where you had to contain your obsession for each other?
So she's just grossed out by it.
I think the more time they spend alone with each other, they're starting to realize, oh no, all of those things that I was able to blame on everyone else, all of those people are gone. So now the only two people left in this relationship, you're looking at each other here, and it's not looking very promising.
She's repelled by his scent now.
I mean, that's what we're getting down to here. Getting down to the nitty gritty of it. But also it's giving kind of like Kody's in that sense of he keeps talking about how great their relationship is, how much they love each other. And he's trying to convince himself, almost in the same ways of living polygamy, where he was trying to convince everyone externally by saying how wonderful things are, how happy they are. He's complaining to Michael about how they were putting on this facade the entire time they were living polygamy, pretending to be so happy. I think we're seeing you do that with monogamy as well.
Did you think it was funny that even in his wildest dreams, he and Robin are in the mall? Because he's hoping that one day they get to the point where they're comfortable enough with physical interaction in public that he's able to slap her ass in the mall. No, she slaps his ass.
Role reversal. Yeah. It's good to have relationship goals, I guess, but it's kind of weird when they're this. I hope we can get to a spot where Robin's comfortable enough to slap my ass in public. That seems to be a strange...
That's never going to happen.
Like a strange marker of success in a relationship.
Robin's too much of a prude.
Yeah, I don't think... Does she slap his ass in private?
Maybe during the massage. I'm guessing the only time that they physically touch each other is when the massage is taking place.
And then when they are making delicate, painful love to each other. Yes, that comes next. That's the next step.
Well, we're going to put a pin in that and go to the scene that I'm sure everybody screamed and was enraged about because they're filming with Paedon.
Oh, no. Yeah, if you weren't grossed out enough, if you can stomach that last scene and you were able to make it through that,
bad news.
Not a lot of people were going to be able to make it through this one right after.
It's not up from here. It's not up from here.
No.
Can we agree that if there's one kid that Christine should be okay with leaving and not living close to her, if we had to pick one, it'd be Paedon.
Probably Paedon. Yeah.
Let him go.
First and foremost.
But she's starting to take this personally.
Okay, this is very ironic for Christine to be so upset, where she had so many children living around her in Utah that she was happy with. Now they're slowly moving away, moving to North Carolina to be closer to Maddie and Janelle subsequently. But the interesting part of that being that Christine, in her relationship with David, was very, this is moving forward. It is what it is. Like it or leave it.
This is my life and this is how I'm going to live it.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter what your opinion is, this is what's happening. So for her to then be on the flip side of that, where her children are living their lives and they're deciding, I'm going to go live in this other state closer to my other siblings or other sets of family members that I'm comfortable being around.
And then she's offended by their choice.
And she's getting upset by that, taking it very personally.
It's rubbish.
Well, of course. Yeah, that's her favorite word
This
now.
must be when she was still writing the book.
Yes.
Or right after she finished.
In the drafts still, because I think the rubbish count that was going on in the book club, I think it was like, I don't even remember. It was at least one per chapter, probably.
Well, we have another one to add now.
Now they're coming in on the show. Around the same time here.
It's weird when you've watched this show. This is season 20. And this woman has just introduced this word.
But she does say it in a way where she makes you feel like this is something she's been saying the whole time. And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
We've
never heard this from her before.
It's starting to feel like the news sitting here. But
it's different. Yeah, this is different though.
She's starting to annoy me. Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's mostly it, is that people are kind of fed up with Christine at this point with the woe is me sort of response to some of the kids moving away. She's even saying stuff too of like, oh, moving there for a few years. Like she's kind of putting a time frame on it maybe too.
Easing them into it not being permanent.
Yeah, like don't, think that you can't ever come back to Utah and come back in a few years.
I mean, to be fair, that is the pattern that this family follows.
Well, I think that's what's
very likely they'll be boomeranging.
I don't know how this isn't coming up as part of a storyline then too, because we've seen McKelty and Tony moving to North Carolina. Paedon's talking about moving to North Carolina. A big part of that, Tony McKelty it was like career stuff. It was
chess.
The kids, chess things. It was the kids wanting to be around cousins and like big family stuff. And so they were kind of focusing in on that. Also, I think a lot of this is in response to Garrison passing away. So this is a lot of trauma, working through emotions, not knowing how to deal with all of that, but then trying to be together through that.
I think what Paedon said made a lot of sense.
Paedon's talking about that very specifically.
Which may be the first and only time that phrase has ever been said in history.
Mm.
I'll probably come to regret it. But Garrison was his best friend of all of his siblings. And he's really struggling with not having him around. And he wants to be around people who remind him of Garrison and are familiar. And he was very close to Janelle growing up. He wants to be around her again. He wants to be around Maddie and her kids. And he doesn't really have much going on right now because he just finished out his contract with the Guard. And he's getting up and he's moving for some Christian girls.
There's another way you wanted to say that, Carly. I would like to hear what what was your first impulse?
Nope, I can't say it.
Some North Carolina puss?
No, no, but there you go. You filled in a blank.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure whatever I was going to say was going to be a problem.
Some Judeo-Christian puss.
Okay. You just keep riffing. You're still not there.
Oh? We're not there yet.
That was gross, though, that Maddie was like, there are Christian girls is here that I can introduce you to. These poor innocent girls.
Tantalizing and titillating Paedon across the country here.
The ones that we've heard of were still in high school.
They're not ready yet.
By the way, Paedon has been going live on TikTok nearly every single night to make money.
And it does not seem well.
No, it's kind of concerning.
We've been assessing this in the Discord a little bit. Yeah. Seems like kind of manic.
But then
activities?
Also starting rumors and then trying to roll them back and saying, I don't even know who said that. It wasn't me. And then everyone was like, it was you.
It was you. On the live, the other live.
There's video evidence of it.
Yeah.
And it was just last night. You don't remember?
So like, are these kind of like manic episodes? Is this sort of...
everyone thinks that. I don't believe that. I really think that it's the combination of being Kody and Christine's child.
I mean, you're already at a disadvantage, basically.
He just speaks very fast. He's very loud. He's very animated. He says strange things. It tracks if you think about the two of them combining into one personality. Back to Meri. Are you ready for it?
They were just still in the shop swiping on apps, right?
Yeah.
What else did we get into?
Well, so she's got some rules.
Okay.
Rules of engagement.
Okay.
Where if somebody swiped on her first and then she swipes on them, she will not start the conversation. She waits for them to message her.
And then also, like, if there's not much conversation, then that's not something that she's even going to continue to work at to try and get some sort of interaction out of that. If it's just single word answers or they're not following up with any additional responses back.
It's good to know that this is just a universal problem with the way people communicate, because I too had this experience trying to make friends on Bumble BFF, where people will do that. They will, once they match with you, they will not send you a message. Most of the time, you have to be the one to be like, all right, I'll throw something out there to try to start a conversation. And then it's like drawing blood from a stone.
Exhausting.
There's a way a conversation's supposed to happen where I ask you a question, you answer, and then you ask me a question, and then I respond, and we kind of go back and forth. People don't know how to do that anymore.
In theory, that's how it would work normally, typically. But yeah, most people are outside of the box now. Not really interested enough, or like they're taking it like you're a reporter.
You're bothering them.
Yeah, well, like you're a reporter from Rolling Stone, and it's time to interview them. And they're just answering the questions that you're going to throw out there.
That sounded more exciting.
That's more exciting?
I feel like they're answering like they're in a police interrogation and they're waiting for their attorney to arrive.
Oh, well, then you shouldn't be saying anything at all.
That's basically how it's going. Non-committal answers like, meh, I don't know.
Not really.
Kinda.
Yes, no. Single word answers, no response, no follow-up. That's tough. Yeah, there's nothing to go off of.
But that's why she's got to talk to so many men at once. She's got 6 different conversations going.
Not to be a hussy or anything.
Girl.
She's not sleeping with 6 different guys at a time.
What does that matter anyway?
I mean, I'm just
Go
saying.
Be you, Meri.
I'm just saying.
Be free after all these years.
Yeah, for her having conversations with 6 different people simultaneously, it's mostly just because, yeah, you're going to have some...
There's some lulls waiting for people to respond to things.
Ebb and flow.
They've got nothing to say.
Yeah. Oh, we did get a new picture, a new photo this time of Meri as a child. Flashback photo.
Season 20 and we're unlocking new photographs?
Who knew? I guess Meri was able to scoop that up. Or it probably was part of the series at some point and we just forgot about it now. They just slipped that in there.
Well, they had to because Kody's talking about how when they were courting, he feels now in hindsight like Meri's family reeled him in. That, I guess, again, this is him saying it in the exact same thing he said in earlier seasons without saying it the same way, that he feels like he was tricked into marrying her.
He got tricked. Yeah. Bait and switch. Thought Meri was quite the catch, but it turns out they caught me and I'm stuck now. I'm trapped.
Then I don't really have much hope for Meri because she's only done this once. And according to him, she had to rely heavily on her parents.
Well, that's why she's relying on Jen. Jen is going to bring this suitor in. And then Jen is basically saying, what are my rules of engagement? Can I ask them scary questions? Can I try to frighten them off?
Just let Jen text everyone. No one's coming into the bike shop.
She's got a lot of time on her hands.
A lot of time on her hands.
Didn't look like there were a lot of rentals today.
I think she's a little better at conducting conversation.
I almost feel like if Meri's the one who complains about the conversation stuff, do you think that she is as active and engaged? We saw her at speed dating. Some of those answers and those conversations.
Not good.
Not good.
Can you imagine how she comes across in a written text?
Text? Yeah, when she's trying to be her sarcastic self there, where she's poking fun or jabbing at something. Yeah, I don't think that's going to land
Everyone's
the way you
like,
think it is.
Man, this woman is a giant bitch.
Yeah,
and they just block her.
It's terrible.
There are like 4 people left on this app who can swipe on her.
I need to limit, my answers here, because every answer that I give, then she just finds something new to tear me down with.
She made fun of me for liking spearmint gum.
You know I hate spearmint.
I did enjoy her comment about how Kody used to have light in his eyes too. So
used to.
Different time, a different man.
Very different. That was a long, long time ago. That light has not shone on Meri in quite a few years.
Back to Utah. It's interesting doing it this way where we're ping-ponging through all the stories because you're really seeing how chaotic the editing on this show is.
Oh, because this is back to Utah. This was when Christine and David went for a somber walk because Christine's upset that all the kids are moving away.
Or pity party.
That's what I was going to say, was that Paedon, like his main goal here, because now as part of this conversation, Paedon has moved to North Carolina. What he was talking about and what he was saying, it sounded like he just wants to be wanted somewhere. Like it seems like, I'm just saying, like
someone,
by anyone, like he wants to be around people who want to be around him too.
Well, he's got the Kody affliction. There's very few people who still want to be around him in his own family.
Yeah, this is tough. This is a big ask. Okay, so then, Maddie's basically saying, hey, we need people to chase down bats and stuff. So, like...
we need farm hands.
Get out here, You're
a big guy. We'll tie you to a plow.
And let you run free. 8 hours a day.
We got a lot of seed to get in the ground.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You got to make sure the soil's over 18 years old, though. Okay? You got to be careful.
I'm glad to know that David knows as little Spanish as Kody does.
Hola, mi bambinos. His nickname is Muerto. Muerta?
I think they said muerte.
Muerte. Which means death.
Christine's convinced he didn't know that that's what it meant.
I don't know. Like, that's probably not a good one. Is that a self-proclaimed nickname in Spanish that he's had? Is that something that Tony mentioned to him once? And then he just kind of took that on and ran with it a little bit? At least it's not Italian. It was Spanish, so he was right about that. It was not Bambino.
Irrelevant anyway, because the rest of the scene is just Christine complaining about how now she feels in competition with Janelle to collect kids to live near her. And she's losing.
Well, we are getting to see the sister-wife dynamic playing out here because Christine is staying jealous of Janelle in different reasons now.
Well, maybe they should have lived out Robin's dream on that porch in their rocking chairs, watching their grandkids, along with their sister wives. Then you wouldn't have to do this.
You never should have gave up your plot on Coyote Pass, Christine. Now you're living in regret.
Did you get the vibe that this was fake? I'm just really starting to question. I don't know how much Christine has to contribute being on this show anymore.
This is manufactured drama for Christine being upset by all of this.
Yeah, but I can also see her being petty enough to have it upset her and be a real grievance.
It can...
But I also don't know what they would film about.
I think that's the best thing to do a manufactured storyline with, though, where there is like a tinge of actual...
truth to it.
Yeah, there's like an investment on her side where there is a real emotion about being abandoned by her kids. And so she's able to lean into that a little bit more as part of the filming and what's going on.
And they're trying to push that there's like tension between Janelle and Christine because they really only talk when it comes to business now. And even that is starting to wane because Christine wants to take her business by the reins and start to have more to do with it.
Is this Plexus? Are they talking about
They're
Plexus
talking about
business?
Plexus.
Okay.
Yeah, the pink drink.
So like that business, I don't know.
Because what they were doing was they were getting together and taking pictures to post on Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Combining downlines.
Yes.
It's like, because Janelle had Maddie and then Christine had McKelty. And so now it's all aggregated over in North Carolina. So Christine feels like she's on the outs or something.
That's a good point.
Right?
The three of them are going to be making Plexus content by themselves and excluding her.
She gets left out in the cold, which we see in the North Carolina footage. Christine gets to chime in on some of that too with the Christmas tree.
Do you want to talk about that? We'll just go to North Carolina.
Yeah,
they're having an early Christmas.
Or they're just like decorating for Christmas. They're
doing
here.
something. They had an idea. They thought it would be nice to film that they're going to go out to Taeda Farms and they're going to cut down a Christmas tree.
They have to go. I did like the side-by-side vacant land footage because basically that's what everybody suspected, that Taeda Farms is becoming Coyote Pass 2.0, where it's just a big plot of land.
We're going to get maps
that nothing's going to happen with. Like, they're not going to do anything. So they're standing around, they're complaining about how they went to do their permits to get seeds in the ground. We were going to plant stuff. You put in the paperwork for late October and you were told it was going to take 2 weeks. You thought you were going to plant stuff in November for a flower garden?
There are flowers that you plant in the fall. Bulbs.
In
like
November?
tulips.
Okay.
Yeah, October.
Okay. But like...
They're not that far
They're
off.
not... Okay. But they're
the
not
timing
doing
is
that.
always unrealistic.
Yeah, where they thought, okay, great, it'll be 2 weeks. No, it's just stuck in, this bureaucratic process. But if you're not calling people and annoying people on a regular basis of trying to push this stuff through, it's going to fall by the wayside and nobody's going to do that. Like, it needs to be constantly brought to people's attention until it gets done.
Well, in the meantime, they're just going to use the land for what it's worth. And they already paid for all these trees.
This is the most expensive Christmas tree that they've ever purchased on this show, probably in the history of television.
I was really excited because I thought that they were going to get something that was very impressive. And then Caleb walked 2 feet out from the same spot that they keep parking on this property, even though this isn't like 120, 150 acres.
A lot. Yeah,
it's
there's
massive.
A lot of acres.
I feel like there were better trees out there, but he just cuts down the first one that's in front of him.
This one didn't really seem suited for like Christmas tree.
No, it's very sparse.
Like spread out.
There's no way that the limbs could hold anything.
They're too big.
No decorations on there.
Yeah. Well, and so at first when they were saying, oh, we're going to go get a Christmas tree, and then they chopped down the tree, and I was like, this is like a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation moment where
it was huge.
Dad, that tree won't fit in our front yard. And it's like, it's not going in our front yard, Russ. It's going in our living room. So that was the moment that I had, was I was like, are they trying to move this thing in the house? This is like their Christmas tree for inside the house? Because there's no way they're going to be able to do that with this tree.
That's how they presented it.
That's what it sounded like.
Which made me nervous.
So when they chopped that tree,
shake that thing out before you get it in there.
Oh man, yeah.
Bats are flying out of there.
A lot of concerns with that. But then eventually they just bring it to the front of the house and then lean it up against the side of the door there.
I needed more outtakes because I have a feeling they did try to bring that thing inside and then they realized that it was too tall. Even though that was visually very obvious to all the rest of us.
Oh, it was way too big. Yeah, there's no way that thing was getting in there. Plus,
because
it was
they just put it next to the front porch.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there is like a stand there, like, to hold it in place and stuff, so that way they're able to put lights on it, at least. Not really decorations, though.
I kind of feel like we just wasted a tree.
They were going to have to clear it anyway, if it's going to be part of the land that they're going to be doing stuff on. So this just felt like an excuse to clear a tree.
Maybe, like, was this producer driven where they thought this would be a nice moment and they were like, you don't really understand the kind of trees that we have on this property. They're not Christmas trees. Wasn't this an old Christmas tree farm? Am I making that up?
I have no idea.
I swear that at one point they told us that part of the property was used as a tree farm.
A tree farm?
A
tree farm for
I just channeled Gino from 90 Day Fiancé.
This tree farm cost $75,000.
You owe me $75,000. The only thing this was good for was the story about Meri warning Kody back when they lived in Montana that he shouldn't be cutting down a specific tree in the way that he was, because their car was parked nearby and the tree was going to fall in the truck, and he didn't listen to her.
Lo and behold, the tree does exactly that. Falls right onto the car. So that was a good memory, I guess. In some ways, it's nice to know, it's comforting that some things never change. You know, Kody out there with the chainsaw. We saw last season, he did an absolute pig's ear of a job trying to chop down that tree. So
A pig's ear?
Yep.
His only regret was not having Meri get in that truck.
Is it too cold for you, Meri? You can wait in the car. I'll be done in just a minute.
She thinks he fucked that up, but it landed exactly where it was intended to.
That was a Final Destination moment for Meri in their marriage. You were one step closer to the murder tarp. Little did she know.
Back to the She-Rah Chateau. They're getting pretty close to getting this place cleared out, finally.
There's a lot. There's a lot to go through.
I bet you it took them 2 solid months of packing and moving stuff almost every single day.
I mean, it had to be. What else are they doing, though? I mean, back to school, I guess.
Special Forces.
Special Forces had to work that in. Was this before or after? This might have been training for Special Forces. This is why Kody had his ripped 6-pack abs. He was ready to go.
That's why he was in such good shape.
Yeah. Raring to go. He's in rare form.
His brother's asking, why are you moving? Even though, why even bother asking that question? Because this man has moved 30-odd times in his life. There's not really a reason anymore.
Yeah, like, this is how I process my emotions, I think, is basically Kody's realization here, where, I
got COVID here.
You know,
I can't live here anymore.
Illness, this is where I watched my family kind of dissolve and blow apart here.
He didn't mention Garrison passing away, which felt just like, out of all the things you've been through in this house.
He has said that.
Why would you? He said it in another episode.
He said that in another episode.
But
where
not to his brother.
This was the house that I received the call in, and like that was enough to be
I just
upsetting.
felt like you're still holding on to the COVID thing. And when you're talking to your brother, you don't mention Garrison. Because it's really paired with what he says later about Christine. And talking about how he says that Christine's kids are her kids.
Okay, well, and the other part of that, too.
He doesn't say our kids.
He had talked about, I think he was trying to move to the other side of Flagstaff so he doesn't have to keep driving by Christine's house. I have to drive by Christine's old house every day. And that's damaging because he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions for that.
Because he really wanted to buy it.
He really wanted to buy it.
He can't believe he let that house slip out between his fingers.
He's still kicking himself.
All he got was this useless plot of Coyote Pass in return.
She really won out on that deal, but I don't want to admit it. So I think that's like the other part of it too, is where it's just, he wants to run away from this side of Flagstaff. There's too many reminders of the failures that took place here in his marriages.
Odd that it happens to coincide with the exact same time that Robin says, you know what, I'm good with selling Coyote Pass.
That lined up perfectly.
Just when they needed a cash infusion.
Perfect.
She's inspired to give up that plot.
I know what we could spend the money on.
Because they can't put anything in a savings account.
No, you're going to lose.
In their palm and right out.
Oh, yeah, in one hand, out the other. But the whole thing with talking about Christine's kids, I still have to interact with her and her kids.
That was
and
so
Michael
gross.
was like, those are your kids, Kody, your kids.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, our kids. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Well,
that's who this man is.
That's been the growing trend. Yeah, we've noticed an increase in that sort of verbiage where Robin was talking about Kody and his kids.
Yeah, like she's never met them before in her life.
This separate distinction now between...
No association between them.
Kody's kids with Robin and Kody's kids with his ex-wives.
So it's gross to see him kind of parrot that same language.
Well, and again, it's the distancing. He's trying to remove himself from that. So the only way he knows how to do that is to verbally distance from the kids too. But it's just, it's messed up. And then at the detriment of your children.
It's just confusing because on one hand, he's saying this house is so painful to be in because it has all these memories. This is the last place that the family was ever all together on Christmas. Shouldn't that be positive memory?
Yeah, like, wouldn't you cherish that then? Wouldn't you want to be like, oh my gosh, like, this was the last place that we had the entire family over for Thanksgiving.
Something good happened?
Yeah, like, that was something to look back on. I think they're just trying to close that chapter, pretend like it never happened, and then move forward with it's just Kody and Robin and their kids. Singular family monogamous unit here.
I think that's because Robin's really unhappy. And they're having to create this new dream and have this new environment to go into where it's a blank slate.
Well, and we were talking about that a little bit too, is like Kody and Robin as monogamists, because then that's what Kody's exploring here too, of this isn't what Robin signed up for. She joined the family. She married Kody on the basis of polygamy. Some would argue, especially people in the family would argue, Robin never lived polygamy though, even when she married into a polygamous family. So they've kind of been living as a monogamous couple within a polygamous family this entire time.
That's the problem I've always had with Robin, is that she says one thing, does another.
Right. Constantly. That's the main difference here that we're seeing perpetually. But I think Kody's realizing Robin has expensive tastes. He's doing everything within his power to keep Robin appeased. And there's a big bill at the end of that because Robin tries to buy her happiness and she's still chasing that dragon because there's nothing on QVC that's going to fill the void in her soul.
So they got a bigger house to try to put more stuff in.
I need more space to hold more stuff that I'm going to try and fill that void with. An exercise in futility.
It really does make you question if these two people will stay together long term.
I know people were suspecting that Robin would leave Kody, but then the answer to that is always, well, she wouldn't do that financially. Like for the financial reasons, she wouldn't be able to leave him, at least not until a little bit later on in life. I think she was hoping that one or two of her kids would come into professional careers that then they could support her.
Marry rich,
do something. But I'm almost suspecting that, I don't know if Kody would hit a breaking point where then he would realize that like he can't keep up with Robin's demands because he has no one else to blame stuff on. So when he runs out of that, is he just going to move all of that spite into Robin at some point where he's going to hold everything against her? Because we've seen him do that multiple times too, where he was mad at Christine, punishing her for things, stuff that he was talking about. It was very clearly his relationship with Meri that he was saying things about.
He doesn't ever learn anything because he's incapable of being introspective. So I feel like he's just going to continue to repeat the same patterns in his life, which is what he's doing with moving.
Janelle called that out too. She's like, oh yeah, I wasn't surprised to see that they were moving again. That's Kody's answer to everything. Anything big in his life, something too big to handle, the grass is always greener somewhere else, and he's going to try and chase it down.
Good news is all of this has persuaded Michael to not want to live polygamy.
Michael had a pretty good idea going into this where he was like, I was apprehensive, right? He's kept an eye on a couple different folks who were living polygamy. He still was amazed that Kody was able to do as much as he was able to do, but that fell apart. And now he's kind of solidified on the fact that like, yeah, I think no polygamy for me. I don't think anybody in polygamy is happy, actually. Like nobody.
Except for their dad.
Except for
Wynn was the only one who did it right.
Because he was just such a machismo. He was masculine energy, inescapable.
This was such an interesting conversation that they had.
Yeah.
Because part of it was Michael saying, well, do you think that maybe you held on to polygamy because of dad? And we've always felt like there was something really deep in this between Kody and wanting to please Win, because he never was the kind of man that Win was himself, or that Win, I think, expressed that he would be proud of. And this was like the only commonality that they had.
This was the only way that Kody was able to kind of relate with his dad directly on. But I think it was still a disappointment factor for him too, because Win had even made it clear Win didn't go to Kody's marriage with Christine because he didn't think he was doing a good job. He thought it was not going well with Meri and Janelle, so he wasn't supportive of Kody marrying Christine. He didn't go to that wedding. So there are just like those red flag things where it was still a failure point for Kody way earlier on than the actual
dissolvement of everything.
Yeah, like the marriage is actually ending. I thought that was interesting. What he was pointing out too was that the age similarity too of like Kody leaving polygamy was about the same age that Win was when he was entering polygamy.
Which was a good observation, but then he takes it in a total wrong direction, which was that, well, Dad was just this guy in his 50s who was so virile and masculine that these women just couldn't stay away from him. That's why he did it right. That's what you got from that, sir. Not maybe if you do this later in life, hopefully you have some wisdom from having lived the earlier part of your life.
No, it's wearing a cowboy hat in the rain and driving cattle on a horse. Like, I think that's what you need to have a successful relationship. It's impossible to have a good marriage if you aren't able to do that.
Also, he does Janelle's mom wrong by saying she was horny. She just wanted Win for his body. just like
Janelle.
Janelle just wanted him for his.
Like mother, like daughter.
But then at some point in the episode, he also questioned if the OG ladies were still attracted to him.
Well, that's why the marriages fell apart, because they weren't attracted to Kody anymore.
Are you as puzzled as I am?
I don't think that would have been a factor.
He accused Janelle of only being with him for his pecs and his six-pack abs. Christine literally broke up with him because he wouldn't sleep with her after she put a door on her bedroom. And then Meri, for 10 years, waited for him to return to her house.
And I ain't coming.
Sad but true. I don't think the issue was that they weren't attracted to him anymore. Maybe they weren't attracted to his personality.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, like, that's part of it. But I think this is just very clear that Kody doesn't get it. Kody still doesn't even know why this fell apart. Kody doesn't know what was wrong in that he's not listening to anybody. When people tell him what the reason is, that's not the reason he wants to hear. That's not the reason that he can make sense in his mind. He can't wrap his mind around the valid reasons that these women give him for him failing them as their husband.
He does kind of almost get there at the end of the episode when they're talking about the house, because they're selling the She-Rah Chateau, and it's this symbol of a time where it just generated a lot of jealousy within the family. That he bought this house for Robin to make sure that she was taken care of, and that the other women were upset by it.
It was just an emphasis of jealousy because he was doing things to take care of Robin at the expense of the other wives. I think that's the part that he's missing here.
Also, they have repeatedly told him, as well as his children have told him, that their issue is that he favored Robin and her kids.
And then he doesn't want to admit that, though. Because then he's disagreeing with it that, no, that's not what happened. But very clearly, if you look back on it and you see the drastic differences of just the living situations that we found ourselves in. Janelle was homeless a few times, was not a concern of Kody's at any point because he had his house that he was living with Robin in. So didn't really matter, didn't have a concern. Good luck with that. Meri, I think, was left to her own devices.
Meri didn't have anyone to come put her bed together.
For months. She was sleeping on a mattress on the floor. So, like, there's just little things like that.
Little things.
They
build up over time.
That are just more noticeable for the people who are experiencing them directly, and then they're telling you about them, and then you're dismissing them. So I think that's the part that gets lost here, is where he's able to get right up to the line of understanding where people are coming from with the claims that they're bringing to him here. And then he just backs away as soon as anything negative is going in the direction of Robin.
Well, and then they cut this in with that other scene where they're in North Carolina and McKelty's talking about how she read Joe Darger's book. And what she took away from it was that he actually loved all of his wives. And that's why plural marriage is working for them.
Well, this is where, Joe Darger becomes the staple.
Archetype for success.
The architect.
The architect of success in polygamy.
For Christine. Because Christine's comparison there of Joe Darger was an architect, where it's very structured. There's a plan. We're organized and we're going to execute on this idea here. That was how Joe Darger set up his family. And that's what they did. And that's why they were successful. Kody's more of a firefighter, where he just kind of runs around and extinguishes fires and rescues people here and there and goes around, but is scrambling and responding to things, but not really planning and being intentional about things.
That was annoying, obviously, because he's never had his shit together.
You think that was just part of her fantasy? Was Kody as a firefighter?
Fire, yeah. That was freaky bitch, Christine.
I think Christine had a couple of fantasies about Joe Darger as a firefighter for her, maybe a little bit. Kind of a missed opportunity there where she was like, damn, yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but didn't pan out, I guess.
It was weird that Kody made a comment about how Joe Darger's family was more homogenous. And
that felt like a shot.
I felt like it was
siblings.
a comment about the two women
sisters.
being siblings.
Yeah.
That maybe it's a little easier if you just marry siblings.
If you just keep it in the family, then less likely to have it kind of go awry here because we had so many different interests. Well, and also the complaint being that they all grew up in polygamy too. Well, you had Meri and Christine and Robin, who grew up in polygamy. So maybe Janelle, who was like a convert.
She foiled it all.
I guess you're blaming her as the crux of this because she messed it up for you in that way. I don't know. Like, that seems like a lot to kind of have Janelle shoulder individually as part of this, if you're saying that, because she's the only wife that you're talking about who doesn't fit into that box of being raised in polygamy.
She got to take her shot too, because she points out that that's where Kody fucked up.
Well, yeah.
Was not loving all his wives.
That's
equally.
The failure. Yeah, you weren't fair in this. And that's a big part of this. I think Janelle knows how to cut Kody deep, because saying a comparison point of Kody not living up to the same standard that Joe Darger has, I think she knows that that will hurt Kody very much. Like, a lot of pain from
I
that.
truly believe that when he watches this show, the things that she says are the ones that hurt him the most. Well, we get a closing scene of them saying goodbye. The She-Rah Chateau is finally empty.
So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
I'm concerned because Saul's already coughing.
Oh.
We're moving to the mine.
Well, maybe he was downstairs where it was still all exposed.
The mold spores.
Just
They were disrupted in the construction.
Or they were at the mine for too long. Yeah, unpacking stuff. And he's already getting a little respiratory flare up just from being over there a little too long now.
Unpacking his room.
That's all it takes.
Not doing well.
Nope.
So they have to gather together to have a family prayer. And Robin still frowns as they pray together.
It is just permanently affixed.
She can't help it. That's
That
the
is
way her
stuck.
face is now.
It is a Muppet mouth that she has going on here. A lot of their conversations are very kind of Bert and Ernie lately, though, where it's just like, hey, Bert, what do you want to do today?
I
Mostly.
can't do the voice. No.
All right, never mind.
I appreciate that you have the confidence that I could, but I'm telling you that I can't.
I think you could pull off a Bert.
And we see them drive off of the property. And how sad for us to leave this house. We have fond memories,
you know,
of making fun of the She-Rah Chateau.
Yeah, there's been a lot of time spent here, a couple of seasons worth. They were flashing back to 6 years ago. That's what we were talking about. Some of those memes. That was right when they were moving into the She-Rah Chateau 6 years ago.
So hopefully Robin's got her broom. I think she's going to be spending a lot of time sweeping dirt and dust out of there.
Oh, I thought you were going to say riding it.
Riding her broom.
Riding her broom over there to the other side of town.
I don't think she can anymore because she lost her sister witches. So she's not in a coven anymore.
Something else to frown about.
She'll start one with Dabsark. Next episode, David is going to try to make Janelle sign up for Farmers Only.
If he hasn't already, and then he's just going to give her the login.
That's the way to do it.
And then say, here, it's already signed in. I'm just going to download the app on your phone.
Meri will not stop talking about Kody's hair. She's threatening now to say things to his face. And so she's having these lessons with Jen to try to build up the confidence.
Well, I think this is part of the indoctrination into Jen's cult that Meri is joining here inadvertently. She doesn't realize it. That's what's going on. And so through part of that training, it's the building up of Meri where, yes, you need to establish your confidence.
The thing I'm really excited about is seeing Aurora has a boyfriend.
She's very excited to run to the door and greet him in their new mansion house. If he's not choking on the fumes of the mine outside, then I think he's ready to get inside too as soon as possible.
He is ready to get inside as soon as possible.
Look out.
Do you think he'll have Zach Wise vibes from Welcome to Plathville? Will they get the hormones talk?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess Aurora didn't really get the hormone talk. That was Christine's kids because McKelty was running amok.
I still think Brianna's the one we got to watch out for.
Brianna's the one to look out for. She's the sleeper.
It's a miracle she didn't have a teenage pregnancy.
I don't know. You ask some people.
Maybe.
They said that she did.
Remember that?
They had a COVID baby.
That was
secretly in the She-Rah Chateau.
And then Robin was going to pass it off like it was her baby.
Yes.
That was baby Annabelle that we came up.
That was baby Annabelle Brown.
Baby Annabelle, did she stay with the house or did she move with them?
These are all great questions. I guess we'll have to decide. We'll have to stay tuned and see what happens in the She-Rah Chateau. If there are any rocking chairs that are just quietly creaking and squeaking back and forth in empty rooms at night, if there's any sorts of paranormal activity or
poltergeist.
Yeah, disturbing
opening
poltergeist.
And closing drawers in the kitchen, flipping the chairs upside down. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, this is all stuff to be aware of and to keep an eye out for.
Well, in case you're looking for more content, we've got a ton of it. There's so much going on right now. We're recapping Special Forces. Every Saturday, those episodes are dropping here. We're also over on our other podcast, Surviving Reality, talking about Seeking Sister Wife, which continues to be amazing. And if you are not watching it, you are truly missing out on something.
It's something special. That's for sure. Yeah. They've hit a stride. Every week is a solid week.
The Merrifields, they finally got a sister in the sister bedroom. So there's no more talking. We're seeing how this is going to play out.
They're doing. Yeah. Garrick is doing.
Also, over on our Patreon on Tuesday nights at 9:30 Eastern, after Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has aired, we are doing live after parties.
Are we still doing them at 9:30? We got the wife swap now, too. TBD, I guess.
We're not recapping the wife swap show.
No.
But we may leave the time open this week so that you guys can watch Angie K's episode.
Right.
So sign up for the Patreon.
You'll get an email.
You can sign up as a free member.
Yeah.
The lives are for everybody.
You'll get that email as soon as we go live.
And then mark it on your calendars. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is back November 13th, and we will be recapping every single episode of it. It's going to be a week of episodes dropping every single day.
An extra long weekend of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because, we're just going to be burning through it here.
So get your swig ready, your Fruity Pebbles. That's our advent calendar. Is counting down to Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh, that's what it's going to be? Okay.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.